And hi, everybody, and welcome to Around the Ancient Eight, our weekly look at men's and women's basketball here in the Ivy League on the Ivy League Digital Network. I'm Dan Loney. Today, we're going to preview the slate of games on the women's side for the upcoming weekend. And joining us to speak about it from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, is veteran women's college basketball writer Mel Greenberg. Mel, thanks for a couple of minutes.
Thanks a lot, Dan. Glad to be here.
Mel, you've followed college basketball for many, many years. When you look at the Ivy League right now, what is the state of the league at this moment?
Well, I just happened to be looking at RPI numbers last night, and for a few teams, they're a lot higher than they were maybe 6-7 years ago. Obviously, right here in Philadelphia, we can remember when Penn was at the bottom of the heap, and they're almost approaching the type of numbers, Dan, where you could think about them as an at-large to the NCAA. I mean, not likely to happen, but the mere fact that you can think about it, is a major improvement.
Well, going into this weekend, you still have three teams that were within a half game of first place for the league lead. What do you expect to see this coming weekend?
Well, obviously, the last couple of years, too, I brought Princeton into my mix because they're not far from my home where I live, and as one of my 10 locals. So I've seen a lot of Princeton and Penn flying side by side. In fact, as I was up in New Haven last weekend, when both of them beat Yale. And then, of course, we got a little surprised the next night, as we did the week before, with Penn the other way. And for Princeton, it's the year after Naveen Rashid, so there was a bit of a rebuilding. But, they played a tough non-conference schedule, and it got them ready. When I was doing my schedules at the beginning of the year, it was an eye-opener when I saw that the first team they would see coming out of that 3-week break would be Harvard, which is not what they've usually been handled. So I knew that had the potential for an upset. And Penn's has been playing great. I mean, when they went to Miami, you just looked at that game going in. Well, nice little trip, homecoming for Alyssa. And then lo and behold, they win the game. And, they're 3 minutes away from being the Big Five champion in Philadelphia. And they were always the 0-4 doormat. Won 2 games this year and could have easily won all 4. So they've played well. And then the others,
free throw line,
some of them are a little younger, but Cornell has been a tough out on nights. Yale has been a tough out. Columbia a little young yet with a new coach, and Stephanie. But overall, I think, the state of the league is definitely improved and much higher than it's been in the past.
Well, and then if Penn and Princeton do win this weekend their games, then they'll meet up on Tuesday night in what amounts to a winner-take-all playing game.
Well, it's the one funny thing is because the ongoing lingo this time of the year is, and the only conference that doesn't have a conference tournament is the Ivy League. Well, we could very well end up with a one-game Ivy tournament besides the ongoing 14-game tournament that we talk about, during the season. And it could be wild. I mean, you still got to favor Princeton a bit being home, up there in Jadwin. If in fact it reversed itself and the game was at Penn, there might be a lot more juice for Penn, but I'm sure the Quakers are going to bring their minions up there. You just say what a great job that Mike McLaughlin has done since coming in. But I used to, Holy Family's not too far from my house either. And I used to spend a lot of time when I wasn't busy with our local D1s over there in Division II with him. And year after year, he took, he just took teams real far and deep in the NCAA tournament in Division II. So, even though they struggled that first year with, just 2 wins, they were close in a lot of games. But, essentially the same players from the year before. A lot of people would be at games just saw major improvement just the way that group, approached the game. And then Alyssa Barron came in, and every year in the Big Five, he's had the Rookie of the Year, and it looks like he's going to have another one this year, in Sydney Stepanovic.
Mel, thanks for joining us.
Thanks a lot, Dan. I enjoyed it.
Veteran college basketball writer Mel Greenberg joining us here on Around the Ancient Eight. Don't forget, this weekend here on the Ivy League Digital Network, a complete slate of games on both the men's and women's sides, as this is the final weekend of league play. Thanks for joining us today. I'm Dan Loney.